Wrong, a thoughtful leader would say, I've noticed you've been quieter lately. I want you to know I'm here if you need support. That's not just checking a box, it's opening a door for the other person to step through, bringing their worries with them, and finding support above all. Leadership is about setting an example. You can't expect others to stay calm if you are quick to anger. You can't ask for understanding if you never stop to notice when others are exhausted. Every time you stay silent instead of reacting, every time you ask gently instead of imposing, every time you respect someone's weakness, you're teaching through action. Not words, that's when true leadership forms, but how do you maintain empathy and compassion while carrying the weight of results responsibilities and expectations? How do you avoid getting caught in others' emotions and losing your own focus? That's when you need to return to yourself, reflect, and regularly re enter. In the next part, I'll show you how short pauses and moments of self dialogue can become your secret weapon to stay balanced in any situation. Are you ready to explore number 7? Reflect and refocus. Reflect and refocus regularly. Regularly, people often think that controlling emotions and maintaining focus is a fixed state. It's not, it's a continuous cycle act. Observe, reflect, adjust like an archer. No one simply draws the bow once and always hits the target they shoot. Observe, adjust their style, breath, and aim. Life is the same. If you don't regularly pause to reflect and reorient, you're letting yourself drift on autopilot. I want to tell you about Marcus Aurelius, not as some distant emperor, but as a person with inner struggles. Like ours, he wrote meditations, not to teach anyone, but to remind himself on long, cold nights. In the battlefield, in the uncertainty of empire and whispers behind his back. Marcus took the time to write questions to himself. Have I been kind today? Did I let anger carry me away? What is worth caring about and what should I let go? Asking himself these questions consistently, patiently, is what made him a model of calm and focus. Do you do that at the end of the day? Do you ever sit down with no phone, no noise, just you facing yourself and ask, what did I do? Right today, what could I have done better? Or do you keep getting swept up in busyness, letting small missteps slowly pull you further from your goals? Self-reflection is not just about looking back. It's about looking deeper. Sometimes lack of emotional control doesn't come from big events, but from a series of small reactions you don't notice or correct in time. You snap over trivial things and blame the circumstances. But really, it's because you haven't stepped back to see yourself clearly. Your focus fractures not from lack of willpower, but because you've let yourself scatter for too long without calling yourself back. I once met a businesswoman named Hannah who built her own company after many failures. She once told me, I thought I was strong, but then came a period when I kept feeling lost and distracted. Not because I wasn't trying, but because I wouldn't stop to check where I was headed. I would work like crazy without realizing when my goals had changed. Hannah began scheduling weekly check-ins with herself. She asked herself 3 questions: what's working, what's not, what needs adjusting. She wrote it down honestly and tweaked small habits. 3 months later, she told me, I got back that feeling of having my hands on the wheel. Not because she knew everything, but because she was willing to pause, look and correct, and don't forget. Reflection is only complete when it comes with gratitude. If when you look back you only focus on mistakes, you'll burn out fast. But if you also notice the things you did well, however small, you'll keep your balance and self-respect. That's what Stoicism aims for: knowing yourself, accepting yourself, and becoming stronger. One step at a time. Try starting today at the end of the day. Spend 10 minutes sitting still and ask yourself the important questions. Don't chase perfect answers. Just be honest, and tomorrow begin from what you discovered today. Controlling emotions and staying focused isn't a sprint, it's a journey. Regular reflection will be the compass that keeps you on course. If you've ever had a moment where you had to pause, reflect, and adjust, or if you found how silence and reflection helped you stand firm, share that story in the comments. I'd like to hear your journey. leading with clarity amid uncertainty. Number 8. Leading with clarity amid uncertainty. What will you do when standing in front of a room full of people staring at you, waiting for an answer, while you yourself are unsure what will happen next? In that moment when uncertainty tightens its grip on your mind, and every gaze seems to want to see you falter, will you react in impulsively or stay silent? Will you make a rash decision or choose to take a deep breath? Meet their eyes with calm and remind yourself, you're not here to give in to fear, but to lead, leading. Uncertainty is not about seeking absolute certainty. The truth is, none of us are given a perfect map to navigate through storms, but God doesn't hand us easy days. He gives us strength to face challenges and grow through them. Here, Stoicism teaches an important lesson. The only thing we control is how we respond. And the best response is to keep clarity in your mind when everything around you is unclear. Think of Abraham Lincoln during the U.S. Civil War. War when the country was divided, every word he spoke was scrutinized, every decision challenged from all sides. Lincoln sat through tense meetings where the silence was almost unbearable, but he didn't rush to speak. He listened, observed, and when he finally spoke, his words were quiet but powerful statements of conviction, dignity, and clear purpose. He didn't seek perfection, he sought integrity, and he did that by remaining calm and leading with clarity in chaos. So why does a silent gaze or a pause before speaking matter so much? Because while others get swept up in panic, you quietly send the message. I am not controlled by circumstances. I am in control of myself. The disrespectful often seek a reaction to assert temporary power when they don't get one. They're forced to confront their own insecurity. In that calm silence, you preserve your dignity and create space for clarity to emerge. But let's be honest, staying calm is not just a technique. It's the result of inner discipline, of daily conversations with yourself and with God. You ask yourself, is this really important enough to lose my peace over the answer? Most of the time is no. By staying calm, you can see solutions that you would miss in moments of haste. Every challenge you face, uncertainty at work, conflicts in the family, or major decisions, is a test that God gives you, not so you'll fall, but so you'll learn to stand stronger. Stoicism doesn't deny emotions. It teaches you to put them in the right place to acknowledge, understand, and not be ruled by them. Leadership isn't about winning every argument. It's about helping others see hope, even when they're unsure what to believe. It's a combination of inner faith in integrity and commitment to something larger than yourself. You don't know what tomorrow will bring, but you can choose how you move today, calmly, clearly, and steady. Remember, even when everything around you becomes blurry, the clarity within you will be the light. That clarity doesn't come from temporary wisdom, but from the daily choice to trust, to be resilient, to look deep within, and to have conversations with God, to find the answers. That's how you lead. Not with noise, but with a quiet, steady presence that carries weight. We've just gone through a core truth of life together. Conclusion: mastering your emotions and maintaining focus aren't innate gifts. They skills you, train time, timely silence. A calm gaze and a subtle nod are sometimes the strongest silent statements of your self-respect and strength. When you understand that not every situation requires a reaction, you start to gain real control. Now I want to ask you, in stressful real-life situations where this applies: workplace conflict. Imagine your colleague undermines your idea in a meeting. The urge to argue and defend yourself is strong, but if you choose to observe, you might notice they're insecure or trying to gain approval from a boss. Responding calmly after the meeting, one-on-one, could lead to a more constructive resolution than public confrontation. Relationship disagreements. With partners, arguments often escalate because both parties are trying to be heard while no one is listening. If one person observes and reflects first, It lowers the emotional intensity and creates space for real connection and communication. Family drama. Family disagreements can be emotionally loaded. Observing silently before speaking lets you detach from old patterns and respond from a grounded place, not out of past wounds. At times, standing up for yourself vocally is important, especially when boundaries are being crossed. However, if asserting yourself becomes synonymous with arguing, it can easily turn into aggression or ego defense rather than authentic self-expression. Arguments often escalate rather than resolve issues. When both parties argue to win rather than understand, it becomes a battle of egos, not a search for truth or resolution. The downside, you may win the argument but lose trust, connection, or peace. People may see you as defensive or combative, even if you had valid poi situations. How do you usually react to argue to assert yourself? B. Stay silent but feel hurt inside. C. Stay silent and observe to understand the situation. D. Walk away and avoid confrontation. Pick one answer and leave a comment. I'll read and respond. If you find this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel so we can train a stronger mind together every day. Don't forget to watch the next video on the screen, where I'll share more about how to face judgment with the calm of a Stoic.